electric field due to a uniformly charged rod. So already we discussed uniformly charged rod, lambda is equal to Q by L, that equals to constant. In the previous video we discussed. So now let's see. To find electric field due to uniformly charged rod, we are learning case 1, that is at an axial point. So at an axial point, at an axial point, we have to find electric field due to a uniformly charged rod. So we have seen, suppose this is the uniformly charged rod, and whose axial line is passing through the length like this, and this is the point at which electric field we want to find, and this rod is having a length capital L, and this point P is at a distance R, let us suppose, and this rod is uniformly charged. The charge distribution is same throughout for each unit length. The charge distribution is same throughout the length of the rod. So uniformly charged rod. So lambda equals to constant. Now we have to find the electric field due to this whole charge of the rod at this point P. So in order to find the electric field, here we should understand the process very clearly. So just keep your 100% concentration here. In this type of charge distribution, here the charge distribution is, here the charge is not point charge. The charge is distributed throughout the length of the rod. So it is a distributed charge, or it is extended body. So on extended body charge is distributed. This type of charge distribution we can call them as continuous charge distribution. So in continuous charge distribution, this is a continuous charge distribution. In continuous charge distribution, there is a procedure to find out the electric field. So everything already based on previous knowledge only, we are going to find out the electric field at this point P due to this continuous charge distribution. Whenever the charge distribution is continuous, but here by observing we can say, so this continuous charge distribution is also having several point charges. They together contribute, or they together constitute this continuous charge. So in this case, the first step in the process to find out the electric field is, first of all we have to consider one elemental charge, which is at, let us suppose from this point P, at a distance of x, at a distance of x from this point P, you consider an elemental strip length which is equals to dx, In this elemental strip length dx, there is an elemental charge dq. There is an elemental charge dq, and this dq is equal to, already we learned dq is equal to lambda into dl. But lambda is equal to q by L into dl. Here it is equal to the dx. So dq we are getting it as q by L into dx. This is the small amount of charge. This is the small amount of charge. That is considered within the small elemental length dx. See, this elemental length means very, very small amount of charge. So this dq, very, very, very small amount of charge means this dq can be considered as point charge. So based on the previous knowledge, suppose if we consider this as point charge, dq is the point charge. Now this point, from this point charge, so already we know that if a charge is there around the region or space around the charge is called, where its influence can be felt, is called electric field. So due to this source charge, due to this point charge at this point P, now this point charge dq produces an electric field dE. This point charge produces an electric field dE in this direction, electric field. This is the small electric field produced by the small amount of charge dq. So here let us suppose this is the distance x. X bar is the position vector of point P from smaller point charge dq. So as already we have the knowledge, for electric field due to a point charge is given by, dE is given by k into dq, kq by x square we learn. But here q is dq. So K into dq by the distance of the point from the source charge is x. So K into dq by x square. Like that we can write. So this is the small amount of electric field which is produced by the point charge dq at point P. But see, this small point charge is in the rod. So since we want total electric field or the net electric field produced by the total charge which is distributed throughout the length of the rod. So throughout the length of the rod, if I consider throughout the length of the rod, observe carefully here, throughout the length of the rod, these type of dx lengths, if I divide dx, like this, everything, this is dx, this is also dx length, this is also dx length, like this. I can divide the whole length of the rod as small elemental lengths, very small elemental lengths like dx like. So now I can, in every elemental length dx, there is a small amount of charge dq. There is a small amount of charge dq which is distributed uniformly throughout the length of the rod. Small amount of charge dq is there. Small amount of charge dq. So in every elemental length this dq will be there. So dq, 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 like this. So throughout the length of the rod, within the small elemental length dx, the same dq charge will be present everywhere throughout the length of it. See, if I consider 1 dq based on the distance based on the position between the charge and point P, here k dq by x square, this is the small amount of electric field produced by this dq. Like that here, suppose this dq is there, this dq also acts as point charge, this dq also acts as point charge, and at this point P, this dq also produces an electric field. Suppose this is dE1, the electric field in this point. For a positive charge, always electric field is directed away from the positive charge. So dE1, since distance is less, here dE1 will be more, and this dq also acts as point charge and produces an electric field dE2, and this also produces an electric field dE3. Like that, so on, the last element will produce dE dN or something like that. So if I divide the length of the rod into n equal parts, then dA. So all these electric fields, if I add, I will get the total electric field at that point P. So these all electric fields are vectors and they are pointing in the same direction. I can add them, dE1 bar plus dE2 bar, dE1 bar plus dE2 bar, dE3 bar plus so on dEn bar up to add, then I will get the total electric field. But since here it is unable to, since here the charge is continuous distribution, to add like that, here in mathematics we have another process, one technique is there, that is integral calculus. We use the technique of integral calculus and we will find out the total electric field due to this whole charge distribution at that point P. So to find out the total electric field at that point P due to this whole distribution of the charge, first we have to find out the small electric field produced by an elemental charge dq, which is given by dE bar is equal to k dq into x square into x cap. Like that we can write. If I write only the magnitude, dE is equal to k into dq by x square, I can substitute the value of dq as q by l into dx, k into q by l into dx by x square. This is the small amount of electric field produced by the small amount of point charge dq at the point P. Now like this, so many point charges are there. So in order to find out the total electric field produced by all these point charges at the point P, so we have to use the technique of integration. If I integrate this expression in between the proper limits to get the total electric field from 0 to E, and here also kq by L is constant. If I integrate, see this point is at a distance of R. From R to, if I go to the total length of the rod, so from R to R plus L if I go, then the total charge which is distributed on the rod will be covered. So in order to cover the total charge, like this small dqs, dq, in order to cover this dq throughout the length of the rod, I have to give the limits from from this point R to R plus L. If I go, the charge is distributed within this length only. So I can give the limits here R to R plus L. So now the process becomes very easy. So now see here, kq by L into, here integration of 1 by x square, that is I can write x power minus 2, 1 by x square I can write x power minus 2 into dx from R to R plus L. So I am writing this figure, see, R to R plus L. So this is integration of x power n dx. One formula is there in integration. Suppose this is definite integral in between the limits a to b, then we have the formula x power n plus 1 by n plus 1, and after getting the integration, we have to keep in square brackets like this. First in the place of x you have to substitute upper limit minus, then you have to substitute the lower limit a. So here let's see, following the same, kq by L into, here x power minus 2 plus 1. X power minus 2 plus 1 means minus 1. X power minus 1 by minus 2 plus 1. So x power minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1. So in between the limits R to R plus L. So again kq by L into x power minus 1 by minus 1 means I will get minus 1 by x in between the limits R to R plus L. Then here kq by L into, now in the place of x first substitute upper limit, minus of, in the place of x R plus L, if I take capital L, you take capital L, minus, this is in the formula minus, again minus of minus 1 by, in the place of x R. So like this if I write, then I am getting the result as, I am getting the result like this. So total electric field kq by, kq by L into, minus of minus is 1 by R, minus 1 by R plus L. So this is the expression for total electric field or net electric field due to the uniformly charged rod at an axial point. So this expression we can remember it as a formula also. So remember this as a result to solve the problems quickly in the exam. So here conclusion I am telling, see, at an axial point, for a uniformly charged rod at an axial point, there is a rod of length L, and this is the point at which the total electric field due to this uniformly charged rod has to be determined. So this point is at a distance R, then already we learned the derivation. So electric field on the axial point is given by kq by L into 1 by R minus 1 by R plus L. This is the magnitude, and I cap represents the direction of that total or net electric field due to this uniformly charged rod at that axial point. So thank you very much for watching, and still we can find out the electric field. Similarly, in the same procedure, we can find out the electric field at an equatorial point also due to this uniformly charged rod, and we can find some at some general point also, and from that general point we'll get some general expression, and from that we can get again, you can also derive electric expression for the electric field at an axial point as well as on the equatorial point also. So like this it is very easy. In the case of continuous charge distribution, first of all you have to consider an elemental charge dq, and that acts as point charge. Due to that point charge, we will write dE, small elemental electric field, and later by the process of integration we will get the net electric field. So all this process is similar in everywhere. Even in center of mass also continuous mass distribution will be there. There also we will use the same. Whenever when force is variable, in work power energy also this type of integration techniques and all, integration methods and all we will come across in physics. So concentrate on the method, so that every in the coming sections whatever in this type of continuous charge distributions, very easily if we are aware, if we are confident with the method, then we can find out electric field due to any continuous charge distribution. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Keep subscribing to the channel. Thanks a lot.